time have the authority to stop someone for speeding or driving recklessly on these roads and issue them citations that hopefully will be submitted to the Justice of the Peace to be disposed of.
We're at on, like, when you talk about putting stop signs on Scales Road, where, I mean, there's stop signs on Scales Road, so where are you talking about adding stop signs?
Right now the recommendation is to put one right there at Pecan. I'd make it a three-way stop coming out of the Creek Road. They have a lot of traffic going through there. I walk through there on a regular basis. I see many of you on golf carts as well. It seems that would be the halfway point. Matter of fact, I measured it. It is almost the halfway point from Redbud all the way to Fort Clark Road. I'm also of the opinion that if Mr. Peterson, the recommendations are right now Scales and Pecan, Airport and Fort Clark, and Scales and Fort Clark.
There's a stop sign at Scales and Fort Clark, right?
On Fort Clark. Make it a three-way stop. Make it a three-way stop.
Okay.
And leave it open if Mr. Peterson feels, or further discussion, if there is a need for other stop signs that it could be, we can measure it out, or it could be moved, or it can be added. Yes, Ms. Allison.
Okay. First of all, I live at the end of Scales Road. You are punishing me with a stop sign every time I leave my residence because of a handful of people who are not following the speed limit. I think there are far too many stop signs between the end of Scales Road and up to the beginning of Scales Road. Coming out of all of those units, there should not be stop signs. They should be yield signs, that you yield to somebody who's coming down that road. That was done years ago during the gas crisis. I follow the speed limit, and I do appreciate these signs because it will make me take another look at my speedometer and make sure that I am within the speed limit and I'm not going 31 instead of 30. But I think that you are punishing a whole bunch of residents if you put down stop signs going down Scales Road. Those people who are speeding are not going to stop at that stop sign. Those people who are breaking the law are not going to change what they are doing. The only thing that is going to affect those people who are breaking the law is to give them tickets for breaking the law, which is speeding. Whether you have to have the sheriff sit down there for a week and clock the people that are going down there and issuing citations, then so be it. But do not punish the rest of your residents, that's my personal opinion, who go in and out of Scales Road. Now with summer going on and taking my grandchildren, 4 different places, 6 times a day. Of course, most of the time I'm in the golf cart, so I can't reach 25 or 30 anyway. But if I am in the truck, I obey those speed limits.
And I appreciate that, Ms. Allison, and so do I. And most people do, but the thing is, we do have a problem of speeders.
Then
now,
fix
my
that
wish,
problem, but not with stop signs.
my wish would be to have an SO on every corner, but that's not reality yet today. So we feel this is a reasonable remedy to control the speeding on Fort Clark Road and Scales Road. And I think punishment is a very strong word. I think it's a very harsh word. We're not punishing anyone. We're trying to look out for the membership.
Yeah, you're punishing them. You're punishing them around the end of Scales. You're adding 3 stop signs to my drive, too.
I tend to agree that it is inconveniencing the membership. And I drove these places last night, and stopping in the middle of the road at Airport and Fort Clark Road, and then starting from that point, I can still reach 50 miles an hour before I get to the curve there. And I'm saying that because putting the stop sign there, even if they actually do decide, I don't follow the law with speeding, but I will follow the stop sign law, they can still speed again. So I really think that if we're going to ticket people for running the stop signs, then we can just go ahead and ticket them for the speeding and save ourselves the expense of additional stop signs. Also, whether or not you believe in climate change or not, whenever you do accelerate, you do expend more gas, which means that we are going to increase your amount of money that you spend on fuel, and we are going to put more carbon dioxide into the air with these stop signs. So I am not in favor of the stop signs. I am not in favor of the stop signs.
Well, the other question is, the Sheriff's Department has the right, through an agreement, to issue summonses on Fort Clark Road, Scales Road, Crockett Road, which is now a speedway, but anyway, I live there, I know. But they only do vehicles.
They don't do trucks?
Well, I mean, they don't do golf carts.
Oh.
They don't do ATVs. They do vehicles, licensed vehicles.
I
So,
got hollered at in my golf cart, just thought I'd mention it.
so why would anybody who's driving in a golf cart stop at a stop sign? Because they don't count, so to speak. But they do, but they don't. So I agree, you know. We could then put a stop sign every 30 feet and that, you know, hey, that'll work, wouldn't it?
Stop signs don't do that much good, they go through them.
I understand. And most of the people today,
Half of the people go through them. You see it all the time.
I know, and
Golf carts.
people
and
today don't
cars.
stop at a stop sign. They, as they used to say, California stop, which means you roll through it anyway, so.
They don't
you
stop
know.
at all.
I can see, I don't know if there is one on Scales and Fort Clark Road right now. I can see a stop sign on Scales Road, right there.
There is one.
Okay. Now, down over there by the firehouse, coming on that little road French that runs along, there used to be a yield sign there. It's gone now, so I can see maybe putting a yield sign up there, or a, you know, slow down, or hey, look, you know, do the railroad thing, stop, look, you know, stop, look, and listen. But the stop signs, I'm kind of like with Allison. I don't think it's going to work.
I'd like to know what, do we have to have permission from the county to do that? I mean, has anybody looked into the fact that we just can't put up some?
It doesn't appear that we have to, since there are roads, we don't have to.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but if they're patrolling them, don't they have to at least be aware that we've done it?
Yeah, if we were to do it, then yes, we'd have to make them aware of those traffic signals, but.
I will say, on the drive, stopping at the road and stuff last night, the speed limit signs that y'all have put out, made of placard or construction paper, cardboard, where y'all put the signs, there is typically a sign on the other side of the traffic, but when you're driving Fort Clark up to Fairway Circle, all the way to the back, there aren't stops, or there aren't signs, speed signs telling you.
That's okay, I just gave 10 more for that.
Okay, yeah, but those are temporary. Those are temporary. But what I'm saying is it's going that way. There aren't permanent signage for speeds.
Correct.
It's coming from the end of Fort Clark Road to the front that you actually see the speed signs. So maybe we should put some more speed signs up and see if that.
Could we put cameras on the speed signs?
That'd be good.
We can't even buy radios.
Well, now Linda brings that up, but if you look in San Antonio where they have the cameras on the intersections with the stoplights, those are not law enforcement tickets. Those are actually done by a third-party company, and if you don't pay it, it goes on your credit report.
Well, that's what we're talking about with our own security. They have the right to enforce the rules, not the
Right.
laws, but the rules, and our rules say you will follow the speed limits, so then we could.
You
it
could
would be an
assess people.
assessment. It would be an assessment, it would go against their membership. If they don't pay it, we put a lien.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't wanna be hard, but they're not responding to 5 or 6.
Yes, ma'am.
My whole original thing about putting up the signs from where I'm at, I see that it is making a difference, and you said exactly what I wanted to hear. Somebody saw the sign and looked at their speedometer
I've done
and
it.
said, oh, I'm speeding by 1 mile. If everybody just took a look, because we all want to do the lead foot, just took a look. That's all it was to remind people, just slow down, take a look, take a look.
I see it every day, because now I have to slow down behind the woman in front of me who slowed down. So, you
Well,
know, what I'm
that's
saying
what
is you're getting the drift, you know?
They're effective.
Yeah.
I think so.
Up in there.
I think so.
So we just have that little hardcore group, how do we
They
deal
want
with
to
them?
use them as target practice, but you know what? It's only a couple dollars for the construction paper, it's only 50 cents for the wood, and it only takes me about an hour to make a couple. I've got lots of time. When they run them over, I'll put 2 back.
Ms. Allison.
If those signs are effective, then why can't we get metal fluorescent signs with that same information stamped and put it on a pole in the ground that's just there all the time,
Good idea.
you know?
Get some
Instead
donations
instead
to
of
do that.
something that's just not paper. Just as a reminder, I mean, they're colorful, they're pretty, they stand out. I see that before I see a speed limit sign.
That's right.
Because I have to pay attention to where the speed limit changes on scales from 25 to 30 and then
Right.
back to 25 again. And sometimes I don't see the speed limit sign, honestly, but I do see that reminder.
And a lot of people think it's a yard sale, so they slow down. Let's see where the yard sale is. That was the point. That was the point.
Yes, Ms. Tanya.
So Mom brought up something interesting, because, yeah, the speed limit, and I can't keep up with the speed limit changes on scales, so I typically will try and keep it at 25, because then I know I'm good. Could you not change the speed limit across Scales and Fort Clark Road so it is the same
Yeah.
the whole
Good.
way?
Yes. Good.
I mean, that, number one, then you don't have the ups and downs. You don't have, if security's enforcing, you don't have to worry about them worrying about, well, at what point on scales were they going 27 or 32? If it's all the same and consistent on those main roads.
Well,
My
when
vote
you,
would be for 25.
when you come into the fort at the bridge, aside from washing away your sins, there's a speed limit sign there that says 25 miles per hour.
If
have
it is
mine
not posted, it
I
is
have
posted at 30 in 2 different places.
No,
on
right,
scales.
but I'm saying it's 25 miles an hour unless posted. But there used to be stop signs or speed limit signs in the units,
That's right.
15 miles per hour.
Several of them
And
still have
some of
it,
them,
yeah.
yeah, but I mean, over the years, they've disappeared, you know. But there is the speed limit in Fort Clark is 25 unless posted.
And there are lots of places where it's posted at 30. So
Right,
maybe,
I agree.
So maybe we fix it and change it to 25 across
Yep,
the board.
I agree.
And
I
then
agree.
15 in neighborhoods.
25 is plenty.
Why is
Yeah.
that?
25 is plenty.
Absolutely it is, yep.
I don't know who sets the speed limits. Is that state set in term, or is that personal set?
I believe that it says that we own the roads and we have the rights. The gentleman sent me all of these regulations,
Mud,
and they, even with the mud,
Mud owns the roads.
I was told originally that MUD owned the roads, and then I was told, no, they gave them back to us after the bond issue.
No, they didn't. Nope.
So,
No. But you know, you could put, just like you said, constant speed limit, period.
Yeah, unless.
And, you know,
I sure didn't know they didn't know.
do I?
I sure didn't know they.
Yes, because that's what I'm saying. I was told by somebody with MUD that they gave the roads back to Fort Clark after they passed the bond issue, and there are roads again, so.
I was
So
told.
do we,
So,
do we have a motion on this specific item?
I want to make one point.
Okay.
This is being recommended because it's a reasonable remedy. Some people have mentioned speed humps. There's other issues, other things that can happen with having speed humps or speed bumps throughout the roads. it is something that will reflect that the community is doing something, we're doing something, it's very reasonable to control the speed. Obviously, we have many members who are very compliant with the law, which is fantastic. We have a lot of members and non-members who are not compliant. Big picture, something I thought about, and this is reaching, all right, so I'm gonna let you know ahead of time. If any of us members were deposed before an attorney anywhere, the one question would be, was there a speeding problem in Fort Clark Springs? We sure would, you know, he would have out of 100 people, 99% would say yes, there was a speeding problem at Fort Clark. Thus, the argument could be made, there was a speeding problem, 99 out of 100 people knew that there was a speeding problem, and nothing was done. Nothing. Thus, thank you.
I disagree with the statement that nothing's being done, in the sense that we've had volunteers out there which we know have made a difference. We've also contacted the sheriff, and the sheriff has issued tickets, so that's...
Yeah, do we have a speeding problem on Highway 90? We sure do. That doesn't matter. He's talking about speeding problems. There's a speeding problem anywhere. Because no matter what the speed limit sign says, somebody's got to go 5 miles an hour faster.
So do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Well, we don't need a motion to not do it. We just, if there's not a motion to...
Okay.
So, do we want a motion on how we're gonna vote?
If there's just not a motion, then it does.
Okay, we need a motion.
What do you need a motion
Uh,
for? If there's no motion, we'll
I'll
move
make a
on.
motion.
So,
I make a motion that we put up at least 3 stop signs, one on Pecan and Scales Road, one at Fort Clark and Scales Road, and one at Airport and Fort Clark. And if that's too many or too little, then that could be adjusted as need be.
Do we get to make motion?
do we have a second? We have no second, so the motion dies. Announcements? Any announcements? Do you have any announcements?
We have given all the information on our addresses, correct addresses for all the units to Concierge Plus, who's doing our software. So they are installing all that. We have pretty much identified every 911 address with all the memberships. It's probably not 100% correct, but it is a good start. So that will probably be finalized in the probably in the next month. They have the data now, and that's going on. And did we say anything about the new dispatch newsletter? Okay, that did come out this last month. I would say it was a huge success as far as, it's an amazing product. So you can see it on our website. We're not making copies because it's basically a magazine almost with all the information that's in it. And it is in color. So I would definitely recommend everybody look on our website and just see what the new dispatch will be coming out monthly. It was an outstanding job by Amos and the crew and Julie. Very grateful I didn't have to do any more than I did. So it's a good job. Appreciate it.
Julie, will you remind people about it? Because it's kind of hard to find. It's under events, but,
Yeah, we're going to try to make it a little more easier. We're going to be doing a new website, right?
Yeah, we're going to probably
I mean, it's wonderful, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a new website, so we're going to try and make it a little more easier to find.
And with the addition of the new software, you ought to be able to send a link to that in
It'll
the
be on
dispatch.
that also.
Just in there.
Yeah, just in there, not where you have to go, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Do you have a citizen's concern, so I could express a concern that we have on Unit 25?
We do have a
Town hall meeting.
town
this
hall
afternoon
meeting
at
directly
1 o'clock.
after, but I think we have a few minutes.
Yeah, I live in Unit 25.
Can you come up here so that the rest of the community can hear you? Thank you.
Can you also tell us where Unit 25 is for those of us who are unaware, please?
Yeah, Unit 25 is Oak Lane, and I have a concern,
Oaks.
and it's been ongoing for a long time. In 2014, when we had the severe storms, we got flooded in, and the water went over the road going toward, I guess it's Pecan Road, and that's how bad it was. We could not get out. There's only two ways of getting in and out of Oak Lane. One is that the low concrete dip, it was flooded. Most vehicles and sedans, they could not get through. On the back side, it's all mud, and it got flooded in too. There's two culverts that we have in there, it's all plugged. And I've been making work orders to get it cleaned out or do something to help us, but nothing's been done since 2014. I made numerous complaints, work orders, nothing's been done. And not only that, it's also a health concern because of the mosquitoes. That ponding area, it doesn't, it has to evaporate and takes months. It's a stagnant pool of water, and we need help with that. And there's a lot of people who live in Oak Lane that are experiencing the same concerns that I have. And before, when the 2014, when we got flooded in, luckily I was able to get out because I got a four-wheel drive vehicle, but there's a lot of sedans, they could not. We couldn't get out of that place for weeks. So, I mean, need your help to help us to do something about that. And I went to previous managers and expressed to them, I showed them where the culverts were, and they told me, oh no, we don't have any culverts there. Yes, we do, they're clogged. Maybe that's one solution, maybe we could put in some backfill with dirt. Well, we do need some sort of help. Because right now, anytime we're fearful, if there's any storm that's coming in this area and it floods it, and we get floods every year in that area, and we have stagnant water. So I'm asking the board to help us if you can. Yes, sir.
When was the last work order you put in?
I put it a couple months ago.
Um,
I did not bring it with me.
March, April?
I think it was around March or April, maybe February. And I haven't heard anything back. All these work orders I do, I don't hear anything back. I get no communication, no feedback. And we need your help. Something needs to be done before, we have a medical emergency and we have the storm and people can't get out. Because I know the last time in 2014, I think it was the county emergency, they came in with a deuce and a 5-ton. That's the only way they could get through. And they were telling us to evacuate and so on. But I mean, that is a bad area right there.
Okay. We will take a look at it. Appreciate your concern.
Well, thank you
for
very much.
bringing it to us.
There's only actually one way in and out of that place, legally.
Right.
Yeah.
So, any other announcements or anything? All right, well, I'd like to thank all of the personnel of the forts. I know that as we have been pushing as a membership and a board to enforce the rules that may or may not have been over the last 50 years, that there's been a lot of people that have received the brunt of that. And I would like to remind everyone that, especially at the pool, these are teenagers on the front lines that are out there dealing with the public. And their first jobs. They're 16, 17 years old. They're out there enforcing rules that haven't been enforced in 50 years. It's difficult for them. So, and this is not to the people that are abusing that or going after them or yelling at them. This is more for, if you're out there and you see these guys doing a good job, please tell them. It goes a long way, especially when an adult comes up and recognizes that they're doing a very difficult job that, to be frank, many of us haven't been willing to do for the last 50 years, right? I mean, they're out there enforcing rules that we haven't been working on. So they're on the front lines, and especially the staff that's around and getting the brunt of all the concerns that we're now having to clean up. The board really appreciates it. So please, when y'all talk with everyone, thank them, and please recognize those people as you walk around on the court, because it is getting a lot better. So with that, we'll adjourn to executive session. We'll be back as soon as we can. Thank you.
Sort of kind of. I put down that we
Yeah.